Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So we're back with yet another updated complete guide. A lot of these updated complete guides are on the way and also have been released, both of them. So anyways, today we're back with Vayne. So now in patch 3.0, I grossly underrated Vayne because she couldn't really use Stormraizer that well. But turns out that she can actually use Stormraizer really well. I thought that Stormraizer wasn't really a Vayne item, turns out that it was. And in patch 3.1a, she did catch a couple of nerfs, namely on her ultimate in terms of AD as well as movement speed. Now I think the movement speed nerf is hurts her way more, but honestly, playing Vayne, I haven't really felt the movement speed nerf all that much, so I think it should be fine. But anyways, Vayne is still one of the best 1v9 champions, one of the hardest carry champions in the game, and if you're a good Vayne, you can carry games even when your whole team is feeding. So anyways, as usual for our updated complete guides, I'm going to be leaving the link for the original complete guide in the description below as well as in the cards above. Now this is to check out the skills and leveling order, which we won't be wasting time going over again. Instead, we're just going to jump straight into the build. Alright, this is not the build for Vayne. Where is my Vayne build? Alright, I guess I just have not changed it in here yet, but the change is really simple actually. Basically, you don't go for Slurry Charge Blade anymore, you instead go for Stormraizer. It's really that simple. So, Vayne still goes for the Blade of the Rune King. Now, the reason why is, despite it getting nerfed, it's still a very amazing item for Vayne. Vayne is not like Kaisa, where you can go for a full crit build to assassinate people. Vayne kind of needs to get in a couple of auto attacks onto people. Like minimally you need 3. I don't believe Vayne is going to kill anybody with 2 auto attacks unless they're already very low, but you need like 3, sometimes 3 auto attacks will 100 to 0 someone, but you generally need 3 auto attacks no matter how much health the person has, unless they're like 1 HP. So you do need the Blade of the Rune King for the attack speed, mainly 35% attack speed, nothing to scoff at, and also mainly for the spell vamp, because Vayne is going to be in fights for a long time, so she needs that spell vamp to stay in the fight longer. And of course, stealing the movement speed on hit is also going to be very helpful for her to chase, and at AD, something we always want, don't have to talk too much about that. Then next we have the Stormraizer, which of course we all know is the newest and brightest, not newest, but you know what I'm trying to say, is pretty much the best item for ADCs at the moment. And Vayne, yes, she can build it. It gives her 20% attack speed, not as much as she would like, but at least there is attack speed in the mix. Gives her the crit, obviously something we like, and gives her AD, obviously something we like at all. Something we definitely like. Not sure what I was trying to say there, but anyways, now the main thing to take note is, remember how this used to be Slurry Charge Blade, we go for another attack speed item, then the only AD we get is on the Infinity Edge. So this actually gives you a huge injection of AD, which you normally wouldn't have until the very late game, because Vayne normally cares a lot more about attack speed than AD. So in this case, this gives you a huge injection of AD, ramps up your damage a lot in the earlier stages of the game. Of course, you don't have as much attack speed, but you have just slightly less attack speed and a lot of AD that you didn't have previously. And furthermore, you have the Paralyze passive, which at first glance may not seem very useful, but when you really think about it, you think about how Vayne, her passive and her ult gives her movement speed towards enemies. The Blade of the Rune King allows her to steal movement speed from enemies, and the Stormraizer allows her to slow enemies down. Like, if you just think about that, basically there is no way that Vayne cannot chase somebody down. She is going to come for you, and she is going to get you. So Stormraizer is an amazing item for Vayne. Now, on our next slot, we have our boots. So boots, normally we go for defensive boots. Now, the reason we go for defensive boots is, firstly, of course, we are going to be skirmishing a lot. So generally, plated steel cap's the best one to, of course, block 15% of damage from all attacks. But if you're into a very CC heavy team, Merc Treads is definitely the way to go instead. You don't go for Gluttonous Greaves because you already have the Blade of the Rune King and the Hunter Vampirism. There's no need for that much lifesteal, or rather I should say that more lifesteal never really hurts, but you do want to have some defensive stats. And for the boot enchant, as usual, normally you go for stasis. You generally find yourself in close quarters with enemies. Sometimes you might be out of position, so you want to be able to pop that stasis to survive just that little bit longer for your team to help you out, or for you to get, another kill or something like that, etc. Don't really need Proto Belt because you have a dash already. QSS can be really helpful against a very heavy CC team as well. So Next up, you go for the Phantom Dancer. Phantom Dancer, in my opinion, is the best option because it gives you that shield when you go below 35% health. So as I said, you're in close quarters with enemies fighting them, and it's highly likely you will get to that point, and that shield will save you a lot of the times, and sometimes help you get more kills, more resets, etc. And then we go to the Infinity Edge. So this is going to be your third crit item, of course, the Infinity Edge. It gives you extra crit damage, more AD, more crit, you know. We all know what it does. Of course, we don't actually need to have Seralda's Grudge or Mortal Reminder because Vayne's passive on her W already allows her to do true damage, so no point for any armor penetration when you already do true damage. And for the last item, I like to go for the Guardian Angel. Of course, for the revive, you never know when you might get just instantly one shot. The revive is going to come in real handy. Now, her build does have a couple of variations. And the first variation of the build is instead of building Phantom Dancer, you build an energized item. Now, I don't think Rapid Fire Cannon is very useful on Vayne because Vayne is going to be in a fight a long time anyways, where she's going to be in close quarters. So I think Static Shift is a way better way to go. So this also gives you an AoE slow when you proc your energized attack. It's going to give you an AoE slow because of Static Shift combined with Stormraizer. So this is a lot more aggressive option for Vayne. And next up, the next variation that you can, of course, build is going for a Wit's End. Now, the Wit's End is for a very heavy AP team. Now, if you're into like basically like maybe 3 AP damage dealers, you definitely want to get a Wit's End, and you can get that Wit's End, replace your GA as your last item, or a better way in my opinion is to get a Wit's End earlier. Now you can rush Wit's End as early as a second item, so you go Blade of the Rune King into Wit's End, but generally that doesn't give you that much dueling power, so I like to go maybe for Wit's End as a third item at the earliest personally, but I think going for it as a second item is also a pretty good choice. So Wit's End, you know, can come into the build at pretty much any point in time. So sometimes your build might look something like this, like Wit's End as a last item. And of course, if your GA is down, Wit's End is a very good replacement as well, so long as there is like, you know, 1 or 2 huge AP damage threats. Of course, if you're into a full AD team, don't buy the Wit's End because it doesn't actually, you know, really give you anything. Now, of course, if your GA is down, you do have a couple of options. Now, the first option is, of course, to go for Static Shift. This will give you 100% crit, and it is another energized item, so that's going to be very helpful. But another option we have as well is also the Solari Charge Blade, if I can actually find, there we go, the Solari Charge Blade over here. Now, as I said, Solari Charge Blade really good as a 3rd or 4th crit item because when you crit and deal that bonus magic damage is going to be very helpful. But honestly, in this case, I think that probably going for Static Shift is going to be a lot more useful because you have the Stormraizer, but Solari Charge Blade is still a very solid option. Vayne can still proc the Radiance stacks very easily because she rolls around a lot with her tumble, so you're going to have a lot of stacks and you're going to be able to proc it really easily. With 100% crit, you're going to be critting for the extra bonus magic damage as well all of the time, so this is going to increase your damage output a lot. But anyways, this is the general default build that I go for. Now into the runes and the spells. It's pretty simple on Vayne. For the runes, obviously you want to go for Conqueror as your keystone, which is simply the best rune at the moment. And obviously for the second one, you go for Hunter Vampirism, just because you need more lifesteal. You want as much lifesteal as you can get. And for the third one, generally Hunter Titan is almost always going to be the best option, in particular for Vayne, because she's always close by and there's always some form of CC. It doesn't have to be hard CC, sometimes it's just slows, like from a Singe, for example. There's generally going to always be CC, especially when you're that close, so Hunter Titan is a very good idea. Of course, Bone Plating and Adaptive Carapace is an option as well. Adaptive Carapace a lot less so on Vayne because her laning is pretty bad anyway majority of the time. Bone Plating if there is a lot of burst. Now for the last one, you guys know I don't really like Sweet Tooth that much anymore, but honestly on Vayne, Hunter Genius is not really needed. Like, your cooldown on your Q is low enough, you don't need your W to be up more often. At most you need your E up to be more often, but that doesn't really justify taking one entire Hunter Genius rune just to get your E up more often. I think Sweet Tooth is still the better way to go, give you that a little bit extra health and sustain and a little bit extra gold when you take the fruit. Now of course, as for the spells, you always go for Flash, and generally you go for Exhaust because Exhaust is generally the best ADC spell at the moment. Really good exhaust targets. I hope you guys don't hear the siren in the background. I think there's an ambulance or a fire truck going by or something, but hopefully you guys don't hear that. And of course your other option is the barrier if you don't want the exhaust. So with that all out of the way, we can move on to the gameplay. Alright, so here we have the gameplay. Now as usual, you guys know what's coming. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the video. Enjoy the video so far. Enjoy the video at the end. You know, things like that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, any questions, or you know, anything at all, just put it in the comments below, and I will try my best to address them. So yeah, here we have our Vayne gameplay. Alright, so in this match, we have a Janna with us, and now there is like an Akali, a Nunu, a Lucian, a lot of aggressive champions that want to run into you. And speaking of which, I'm getting cheesed in the bush already. A lot of champions who want to just run into you, so having a Janna to protect me is going to be really useful. Now Vayne is a lot like Jinx, where she does a lot better with enchanters than tank supports, because she basically just wants someone there to buff her up. So she does a lot better with, like, a Janna, a Lulu, a Nami, supports like that, those enchanters, a Yumi, stuff like that. So she does a lot better with those. But of course, she's not as bad as a Vayne, she's not as bad as a Jinx, where you really need an enchanter support. You kind of are alright with a tank support, just that it's a lot more preferable to get an enchanter support. Now our team has quite a huge Wamo combo with Wukong and Diana, but we kind of don't really have a team synergy, in the sense that we have a Pantheon who's very early game, we have a Vayne who's very late game, so kind of a little bit messy. But of course, I picked the Vayne for a couple of good reasons here. First up, of course, they have a Mundo and they have a Nunu, two very tanky champions, and we all know Vayne loves to play into tanks. So, of course, we do like the Vayne pick here. Then Vayne also has mobility, so she at least has a better shot of like dodging Akali's shuriken, or like chasing / running away from Lucian, who also has mobility. So, couple of reasons why I picked Vayne in this instance. Now, at first glance, if you take a look at this enemy draft, now Nunu coming in for a gank, but Janna is just going to disrupt him like that. That's the reason why you pick Janna into Nunu. Now, we have a Karma who does magic damage. We have an Akali who obviously does magic damage. We have Nunu as well, who can also do magic damage if he builds, like a Rite of Ages or a Death Cap. And the only real AD damage we have is from Lucian, because Mundo doesn't really deal all that much damage. I mean, he does deal damage, but not too much. So this is a mainly AP heavy team, but I'm already going to say from the get-go that I don't actually end up building my Wit's End. Now, you guys will see the reason for that later. I'll point it out. Basically, essentially, it's because Nunu didn't build AP at all, and if I'm not wrong, Karma built like full support, so she didn't actually do that much damage. So it ended up being basically Akali only. So speaking of which, Akali turns up to the party, so does Diana. It becomes a 4v4 party in the top lane. Akali ulting in. I'm gonna condemn her away. If not, she's gonna be ulting me and Janna, and we're both gonna die. So the fight's still ongoing, so I'm just seeing what we can do about the situation. My team picks up 2 kills already. Janna and Pantheon are both 1 HP. I'm pretty low as well, so we don't really want to fight all that much. Actually, Pantheon is not even in this lane. I'm not too sure what I'm talking about, but I'm really low. Janna's 1 HP. Wukong is about half health, and so is Diana. So we're gonna leave the fight at that. We did pick up, I believe, was 2 kills from that top lane fight without anybody dying. So that definitely was a good fight for our team. Now, for me personally, I have 0, 0, and 0. Somehow, at the start of the fight, I did contribute a little bit, but I was too low, and I was just basically running away. And by the time the kills came through, I guess it took a little bit too long, so I didn't actually pick up any assists. So that's kind of sad for me. But the good news is that we did have Karma dying, so at least she gets put behind a bit. Lucian has to back, etc., etc. So we do get some lane control. Akali roaming toward the dragon area. So of course the dragon fight is coming up, and Wukong is already there, already ready to go for the dragon. Now obviously there's going to be a fight. We can see Nunu coming in, we can see Akali coming in as well. Mundo is actually slowly making his way up through the bottom side river. Pantheon not moving in the slightest. But we're all camping a bush, and we're gonna use the sweeper, and we realize there's a ward, so we clear that ward. And here we are grouped up as a 4, whereas the enemy team is split off 2-2 in the top, or rather 2 in the top and 3 over here. So here I get the kill onto the Nunu, and Mundo dies to Pantheon already. So enemy team is a little bit too split. And Pantheon did join the fight, of course, because he does have his ult. So good on Pantheon, he stayed in his lane longer, got more minions than the Mundo, then joined us with the fight. So here I'm just going to pop the plant as usual to make sure nobody can come into the pit for anything sneaky. Akali tries to come in, but she basically eats every single CC our team has, and she just dies. So that's definitely not what you want to do as an Akali, which is to walk straight into the enemy team by yourself. And basically, you know, that's going to cause you to eat every single CC the enemy has, and you can do absolutely nothing. So you want to wait for the enemy team to like use their spells first, like in a team fight, and join a little bit later, or come for a flank, etc., something like that. You don't want to be walking straight into the enemy team. But anyways, this video is not about Akali, it's about Vayne. So as you guys can see, I'm 1-0 and 2 now. Finally got some kills and assists on the board. Basically, you know, Red's basically chilling. We can't really do all that much in the early game because we're really weak. Now against some lane matchups you can, like against a Jinx, if she doesn't use her rockets to poke you can actually be aggressive on her. Same with Ezreal, if he's missing his poke, if he's not poking you can actually go in and start attacking him a little bit. But in this match we're against a Lucian. Now the moment I roll forward to attack, auto attack a Lucian once to trade, I'm gonna get hit with a Lucian Q and a double auto, so I lose that trade, and in an extended fight I lose as well because I'm gonna get hit by everything else. Now case in point, right over here, I see him, I see Karma, I flash the wall. There's no way I'm winning that fight, so best to blow flash early, then realize, oh no, I'm gonna die, and then I flash, and then maybe I even still die. So you gotta know what matchups you win and what matchups you lose. There's no way I win against that. I nearly get hit by Akali Shuriken, thankfully she misses. And if not, I would have died there. I believe she does still have... Oh, she doesn't have ult, but I still think I'm likely to die there. I get hit by a Q auto and I'm 1 HP basically. So anyways, we're back to the lane, back to farming. Basically as Vayne, especially against an aggressive matchup like Lucian, I just want to farm. There I went into auto him because he already used his Q onto Janna, so you know he can't trade back onto me. So in that case, you know, you can adapt the situation and you know accordingly, and you know I can get a trade-off with him, which you know was of course favorable for me because he didn't actually he wasn't actually able to hit me because his spells were on cooldown. So anyways, we're just trying to scale. We have the Blade of the Rune King already. We want to basically get at least 2 items before we can somewhat be useful. Of course, every other item we get after that, we're going to be way more stronger. Solution is left high and dry alone. So I actually wanted to condemn him into the bottom wall, but he flashes over and ends up getting condemned into the top wall instead. So no real difference from me. Doesn't matter which wall I hit him on. He dies anyway. So I think he was trying to actually flash the condemn, but unfortunately for him, he flashed into a position where he also will get stunned if he gets condemned. So really unfortunate. I'm not too sure why he flashed up, you know, toward that wall instead of flashing toward his tower. But yeah, you know, I will take the kill. You know, we're not gonna question too much. We're gonna clear the wave. Nunu just came in for an unsuccessful gank. I end up taking tower aggro before the minion goes in. A bit unfortunate. We get a plate and we're gonna get out. Lucian is back in lane. Akali comes in and she misses the shuriken again. Nearly kills the Janna, but I did manage to hit the exhaust onto her. So we're all good in that aspect. I get rooted by the Karma, unfortunately, and I do die because of that. Now, probably a little bit too greedy, just chasing. My team was around. I wanted to, you know, give them the support that they needed, but yeah, it wasn't really the best idea. I should have just backed off, and I died a little bit unnecessarily because of that. Now, Diana picks up the kill onto Lucian, walks around the Nunu snowball. Really, really nice. Mechanics by the Diana. Not really, not that hard, but you know, some people just run straight into the snowball, so I'm glad she did not do that. But Nunu a little bit too tanky for her to take down, even with the help of Janna's shield. So nothing too much comes of it. So now I'm back on the map. The dragon is spawning in 5 seconds, so we do want to get ready for that. Janna's doing really well as well. 0, 0, and 8 with the Ardent Sensor completed. Going to be really helpful for my attack speed. And in the meantime, while waiting for Wukong to come over, I'm just going to take the Gromp. Wukong actually thinking of stealing that Gromp. Shame on you, Wukong. So anyways, enemy team just warded the dragon. We can see that. So I'm just going to ping that they warded it. And we're just basically it's going to be a repeat roughly of what happened just now, where there's pretty much just going to be a fight again. Everybody started coming to the dragon. This time, though, Lucian pushes in the wave, so I'm gonna have to try to pick up the wave. I realized that, you know, my team is probably gonna be in a fight. I actually was thinking of backing off, but the fight didn't really break out, so instead I'm going back for at least getting the passive XP from the cannon. And here, Wukong just randomly starts the dragon, which is not a good idea considering the entire enemy team is in the vicinity. Here I pop my ult and attack whoever I can in front of me. In this case, it's the Mundo, so the kill is acquired onto the Mundo. Akali coming from behind from the flank, but we know that she's there, so we're gonna have to be cautious of it. I hit the exhaust onto her. I tried to condemn her into the wall, but kind of goes a little bit wide. But we do eventually manage to pick up the kill onto her, as well as picking up the Infernal Dragon. So overall, really sharp team fighting by my team. We're doing really well in the team fights, and we're pretty much just winning all the team fights, which is leading to us getting dragons, things like that. And now Wukong is going for the Herald. Alright, so here I see the tower almost below the plate mark. So what I want to do is I just want to go into the tower and pop that plate to get me 150 gold. Of course, I can't really take down the tower by myself, so I'm just gonna have to back off. I'm taking the fruit because I plan on backing, and I do not want the enemy team to take the fruit while I'm not around, so I might as well just pick up the gold because I have the sweet tooth. Now here I go to clear out the ward, and the next wave has crashed, so I don't want to back when the waves are still there, so I just want to push out the wave before I back. Haven't backed in some time now, so I should be able to have quite a bit of gold to spend on my items. I get hit by the Twin Shadows, but I don't know who has the Twin Shadows. I guess I could check here. It's Karma who has the Twin Shadows. She did hit me with the Twin Shadows. But anyways, alright, so now if you take a look at the current item situation, Karma actually goes for AP, which is basically... Alright, actually, let's not take a look at the item situation. Let's take a look at this 1v1. So Lucian pops this out. I pretty much sidestep majority of it. He exhausts me, I ult in and hit him with everything, basically, and I barely get the kill. So I do know that, at this point in time, I'm pretty strong. I did think I could 1v1 Lucian, so I did just go for it, and it did work out. Akali trying to come in for the assassination, but ends up just tanking 2 tower shots, and I knew that they were all coming up because we could see from that ward in the river. I was just trying to hit my back and get back to base as fast as possible before they reach under the tower, and somehow I managed to do so milliseconds before Akali got into range to hit me, so that was kind of nice by me. So anyways, we are able to complete our Zanya's Hourglass as well as the Stormraizer. So now we got 2 items. We're going to be pretty strong. So we're going to go in on the first target we see, which is the Mundo. Basically, you always want to go for whoever you can. Get the kill on Akali, who's 1 HP. We get the kill onto Mundo as well. Diana ults, and we're going to just take the last hit on the Karma, why not? We get the triple, so I'm just going for the Lucian. Exhaust onto the Lucian. We get the kill onto Lucian, and we're going for Nunu. There we go. Pentakill on Vayne. So there I stasis just a millisecond before the tower shot hit me, so as to not give over the shutdown to Nunu. And yeah, I didn't even have my ult there, so kind of really fortunate circumstances where Mundo basically was just attacking. I believe it was the Pantheon, and oh no, it was the Wukong, and I could just easily just free fire onto him and just shred him. Akali showed up. She had 1 HP. I killed her. After the Diana ult, Karma at 1 HP, I just last hit her as well. And then we of course went in for the kills onto Lucian and as well as the Nunu for the Penta. Now if that wasn't Penta, I wouldn't have gone for the chase on Lucian and Nunu, who are clearly at the tower already. But it was Penta, so I was going for it. So, and I don't even manage to die. I thought that I would die to the tower when I went for the Nunu, and I was ready to sacrifice my life to get the Penta, but it wasn't necessary, which was a really fortunate situation. So now after that Penta kill, I'm really fed. Now, if you guys notice, I had 0 gold after coming out with the Stormraizer, and getting 1 Penta kill instantly gets me the Phantom Dancer. So I'm really accelerated in gold now, 11k gold now. Mundo actually has the same amount of gold as me as well, which is why he's that tanky. He has the Sunfire Aegis, he has the Warmogs, and he has the Thorn Mill, which is why it was so hard to kill him previously. And he also has the Sterix Gauge, so not Sterix Gauge, he has the Gargoyle's Stone Plate, so that's why he's really tanky. Akali tries to engage onto me, nice disengage by the Janna. Akali tries to continue going on, and we get a kill onto Akali, we get a double onto Lucian, we get a triple onto Nunu. Now honestly, this could have been another Penta if the last 2 kills wasn't taken by my team. But yeah, this could have been a second Penta. But yeah, we're not greedy for the Pentas. We got 1 that's good enough. We're just gonna go for the Baron. It's a clean wipe on the side of the enemy team, so it's a completely free Baron, and afterwards we can even rotate to the Dragon to just pick up that Dragon for free as well. On the way, of course, we're just going to clear out the mid lane, like so, and then we're just going to rotate over to the Dragon. Enemy team all still has not even spawned yet. By the time they spawn and get back over here, we should have already taken the Dragon. They're all spawning, probably just walking out of base now, so we just easily just going to pick up the Dragon. But actually, the enemy team surrenders, so no Dragon to be picked up. So yeah, Anyways, there we have it. That is the Vayne updated complete guide. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. So thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye.